Hello everybody, welcome to another Versus Video Deck Tech. CVM here, once again joined by
BBD.
And we are battling some Modern today. We've got a sweet little deck here that's going to put some junk in your trunk, a little Abzan mid-range, with standard All-Star Siege Rhino. So he's popping his tusked head here into the more Eternal type format. And the stats on it are very impressive. Cards like Abzan and Bailoth are already seen play. And he's just very, very good. So it gains you some life, drains your opponent, but the most important part is he doesn't die to Abrupt Decay or Lightning Bolt. So it's just a very robust threat that in a 3-color deck with all the fetches and dual lands, it's very easy to cast.
Can't even be Flame Slashed.
It can't even be Flame Slashed, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's just like the average size of against the Tarmogoyf, so like it's actually plays pretty decent D against the Tarmogoyf if you need it to.
It's almost as big as Goyf. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
And it has Trample, which means that it can attack through cards like Elemental tokens from Young Pyromancer if you happen to need to get aggressive. So I think that Siege Rhino is actually very good, and I'm happy that it's seen play in Modern.
Yeah, it looks pretty sweet.
The rest of the deck, I wouldn't say is quite standard junk fare. We do have 8 discard spells, 4 Abrupt Decays, and some Lilianas, which you're normally going to see. Tarmogoyf Scavenging Ooze, no Dark Confidant. Instead, we have a Corsair Crucifix, we have a Bitter Blossom, and some Lingering Souls and some more removal spells. So instead of playing a 2-1 for 2 that is going to die a lot and let my opponent get value off of cards like Forked Bolt and Electrolyze, this deck has just kind of gotten rid of it and just plays some more robust cards. So I actually like it. I think it has the potential to be very good.
Yeah.
We do have 2 main deck Dark Blasts,
which
I imagine will come in handy here playing against the Delver deck. But I can definitely see why this deck made it to the top 8 of the Grand Prix in Madrid with those Dark Blasts, because Delver is very popular in that format.
Yep.
Now, Dark Blast is also good against a bunch of other decks as well. Like it's very good against Affinity. Like I actually don't see how they can beat that card, to be honest.
They have to get some Ravager shenanigans going.
Yeah, like the rest of the deck seems good against Ravager too. I really like Dark Blast. Unfortunately, if you happen to get paired against like a Scape Shift deck or a Tron deck or like an actual combo deck,
You're like Siege Rhino. They're like, all right, Scape Shift you.
Yeah. It's going to be a little rough. But the good thing is the soft permission from the Delver decks have been kind of scaring the combo decks away a little bit. So this is just one of those metagame decks that's going to try and prey on what people are playing at the moment, not on what's in the format as a whole. So here's the main deck. Let's go ahead and take a look at the sideboard and see what other options we have for a sweet deck like this. All right, we're back with the sideboard for the Abzan mid-range deck. We do have a Golgari Charm, just good all-purpose utility. You can kill enchantments if you needed to. It's also very good at just giving -1/-1 to all creatures. Young Pyromancer is a very big part of the format, and Golgari Charm is very good against that card.
I wonder who's playing Young Pyromancer.
I wonder. Now, a card that's not very good against Young Pyromancer is the Liliana of the Veil.
Yeah.
Not only does the +1 give them cards to delve away to their treasure cruise, but it also has a tough time killing Young Pyromancer since it gets to make a bunch of CVM tokens. So Liliana is very good against basically every other deck except for this type of strategy. So I imagine there'll be times where the card is actually very good, but in general I think it's going to be one of the weaker cards against a deck like what you're playing. We have 3 Leyline of Sanctity. Is a good way to cold deburn decks.
Also cold, like it's also really good against like decks like Scape Shift too, where you can sank and spank them. So
yeah. The difference is like the Scape Shift decks can always just like bounce it with Cryptic Command and then kill you, whereas the burn decks just literally can't do anything.
Yeah, they can Destructive Revelry it.
Oh, that's true. Hopefully they don't have that. We have 2 Stony Silence, very good against decks like Affinity, as well as good against Tron.
Yeah, it is.
Creeping Corrosion, good against Affinity. Not all that great against Tron.
Not really, no.
Drown in Sorrow, just along the same lines as the Golgari Charm. Thrun, which is just a very robust threat that we can always get into play because he's uncounterable. 3 Fulminator Mage, along the same lines as Molten Rain. It's just a card that can be very good against a lot of different decks. Primarily, though, it's going to be very good against decks like Jund, decks like Scape Shift, and any of like the 3-color Jeskai control decks.
Now, there's one thing you said that I disagree with. You said Thrun, we can always get him into play because he's uncounterable. What if you get Molten Rain 3 times? Will you be able to get Thrun into play then?
I mean, he won't be countered Once he is on the stack, he will enter the battlefield.
Will he? What if I'm packing a Mind Break trap?
That's true. You could also time stop. Isn't that legal?
It is, yeah.
All right. And then we have 2 Timely Reinforcements, which is a card that I'm not surprised to see him play. People are playing Dragon's Claw, so Timely Reinforcements is along the same lines.
I mean, I would even sideboard this in my standard deck.
I think Reinforcements would be real good in standard.
Yeah, it would be, yeah.
All them Rabble Masters. But yeah, this is the sideboard. This deck is really sweet. I'm pretty sure it was a Willie Edel design.
Okay.
That Mr. Carvalho top-8'd the Grand Prix in Madrid with. But let's go ahead and battle and see if old Siege Rhino can beat Tarmogoyf.
Probably can, yeah.
Yeah.